Hey, this is Jackson Welsh, and I'm here today with
Cole Goddard.
This is the second episode on the Aniohevyeshua podcast. Alright, so first episode was all about your faith. Second episode, we'd like to talk about some of the things that you offer, some questions that have been frequently asked by clients. To start off with, what services do you offer?
The services that we offer as a company are roofing, inspections, consultations. If you have any questions about roofing, anything that you think doesn't look right on your house or on your business, you want us to come take a look at it, you can give us a call. We offer repairs if they're needed, emergency repairs. So if you're in your house and it's storming out and then buckets of water start pouring through your ceiling, you need somebody to come out and fix it, and it's like 12 o'clock at night on a Saturday night, you can give me a call. I do emergency repairs 24 hours a day, rain, sleet, snow. I've been out in a tornado before, so that's some of the stuff we offer. And then there's also carpentry. If you're doing a little bit of home remodeling, we do interior stuff too, and then we do most exterior things, a little bit of plumbing, little tiny bit of electrical, but mostly roofing, I would say, is like about 70% of it. So along with that is new gutters, coating box gutters, fixing downspouts, installing new fascia, soffit, and then if there's anything else that you're wondering if we could do or give you a price on, you could just give me a call and we'll set up a time to come out and take a look at it, and I'll let you know if it's something that we can take on.
Okay. And you do both flat roofs and angled roofs, with shingles and rubber, right?
Yes, we do flat roofs, shingled roofs, slate roofs. A lot of people out there won't touch slate. It needs to be done the right way. You can't just use any type of metal, any type of nail to hang the slate. You have to use like a stainless steel, you have to use copper, and a lot of people won't touch slate because they don't understand the different tools that you need for it. And I've seen before in the past, some companies do like slate repair where they kind of just like glue the slate back into place, and that doesn't work. It may look like it's going to work for a little while, but it's not going to work. Over time, the slate has to like chatter. They all hang on the roof, and they all have like a relationship with the slate next to them. So the wind blows or expansion and contraction of the weather, they kind of slide around just a little tiny bit, little fractions of an inch, and they settle. They have to be able to chatter. So if you take one and you glue one in there, then eventually it's not going to work, and you can have a piece of slate flying down the side of your roof and hope it doesn't hit somebody in the head. So we do a little bit of that, a little bit of tile roofs. I've done a green roof for a doctor's office where it's basically like a EPDM rubber roof with a semi-permeable membrane on top and a permeable membrane. You put a bunch of dirt and plant a bunch of succulents on the roof, and in like a couple of weeks or so in summer, all that dirt will be covered with plants, and they can walk out onto their roof and walk around and enjoy plants, set up a little patio area, and take people up there to meetings or dinner, or just like look out their window onto it and see something other than just like a black, dirty, dusty rubber roof. And done a little bit of like solar work alongside companies that install solar shingles, solar panels on roofs, repair solar panels, and done a lot of industrial flat roofs as well. But pretty much any type of roofing system, metal, I have some experience in. I work for a union roofing company, And we did commercial roofing. We did that for like 6 years. I did roofs at a lot of power plants. So went through a lot of safety orientations. So if it's a roofing issue, then pretty much I'm sure that we can take care of it or point you in the right direction of someone who can.
Sounds like you offer a lot. You have some rather niche things with the green roof. Next question is, could you explain the importance of proper gutter installation and maintenance?
Yeah, gutters are important. People don't really understand all the different things that gutters do. So basically, water is the most destructive force in nature. It'll erode mountains, and it'll eat away at most building materials. It eats away at bricks and blocks and mortar and pretty much anything. It'll rust metal. It will dry out, wash away all the rocks and everything, and then eventually as the water that has like wet shingles for so long it dries up, then the sun will also bring out the natural moisture in the products, and so a lot of cycles of getting wet and drying out and getting wet and drying out will actually like help to dry out the natural moisture in all these materials. So a gutter channels the water away from the building. So if you have a proper gutter system, then all the water that's running off the roof isn't going to run right off the side of the roof and make like a big valley in your yard or eat away at your foundation. It'll eat away at your foundation, cause your basement to leak. It can eat away at the all the building materials that your house is made of, get behind siding and rot wood. And the bigger house you have, the steeper your roof is, the more water will build up during a rainstorm, going from the peak of your roof down to the gutter line. So you'd be amazed at how much water flows off of your roof in the span of like 1 hour of rain. It's gallons and gallons, it's bathtubs and bathtubs full, and all that flowing water, if it's not properly channeled into some sort of drainage system, it can really do some damage. So gutters are really important to have, and they're really important to be maintained, that they work properly. If they are all clogged up and water's overflowing on one side of the gutter, then it's going to create issues. They need to be cleaned, usually like once a year at least, sometimes twice a year, definitely at the end of the fall, before the winter hits. Oftentimes there are other products that will help assist the gutters and ensure that the gutters will remain in working condition. Sometimes you have to install a heat wire in the gutter so that in the winter ice buildup, they call it ice damming, and the gutter fills up with ice, and if it's not properly secured onto your building, then it can fall and it can destroy whatever's underneath it. There's a heavy gutter filled with ice, which could easily kill somebody. It can ruin your roof because the ice buildup will like work its way underneath your shingles, underneath your decking. You'll see leaks inside of the house, even when it hasn't snowed for days, but you have ice buildup and the ice is starting to melt. You'll see the leaks coming down the side of your walls on your top floor or in your attic. And if you don't properly maintain your gutters, if some cases, like if you're living in the middle of the woods, you may want some sort of gutter guard to go on top of it, so you're not up there cleaning your gutters 8 times a year or constantly up there cleaning them. Or you have if you have like a box gutters and you have to go out on the 3rd floor and crawl around on your box gutters and scoop the dirt out and stuff, so that you're not risking your life up there in a dangerous situation. It's important to have them maintained correctly.
What are the benefits of having proper roof ventilation?
Roof ventilation is necessary because, as you know, the heat rises. All the heat from your house will go into your attic space, assuming that you don't have a vaulted ceilings and that you do have any attic space. That heat gets trapped in your attic because it has no way of getting out unless you put a hole for it to get out of. Preferably, the higher you put the hole, the better. If you have an attic with a fan, it has like a dial on it that you can set. So if the temperature gets to be a certain degree, it'll turn on and the fan will blow all the hot air out. Or you can have a vented soffit and a ridge vent, so then air naturally moves from below, from your eave, from where your soffit is, and then it blows the hot air up through your ridge vent. So those are really important, really powerful ventilation tools. There's box vents. If you have a flat roof, there's all kinds of different vents. You can have them specially made. They go on top of curbs. If you don't have ventilation in your roof, then the sun will bake your roofing materials, and the heat from below the roofing materials will bake them from the other side. So you're looking at like a 50-year shingle lasting for 25 years. Certain products will dry rot and crack. Rubber around pipe boots dry rots and cracks quicker if there's no ventilation. You'll get nail pops. If you were to, for some reason, like take some of the drywall out of your ceiling and you don't have proper roof ventilation, then the heat will make its way up there at an accelerated rate. And when you have too much heat buildup in your roof, in your attic, the nails that are shingles are fastened to the roof with, they'll sweat and then they'll start to back out. And they'll back out so strongly that force can actually like push the shingle up above it and break the seal that the tar strip is sealed to the adjacent shingle with, and sometimes even poke up through the shingle. And then once that happens, it rains and you'll get a leak there, and you just get a slow leak, and you'll notice that your paint on your ceiling is getting ruined. You'll see that the puddle's spreading a little bit bigger and bigger, but there's no water coming through. It's just a slow leak, and most of the time it's caused by one of those nail pops. So it's very important to have roof ventilation on every roof, even if it's just a small house and you say, oh, well, we want to conserve the heat in the winters, but that's not how that works.
Okay, wow, I'm learning a lot just asking you questions here. The next question is, what are signs of roof damage, and how can customers check the roofs to see if they need to hire you?
Well, I'd say your best bet is to take a look at your roof. A lot of people don't pay attention to it, but take a look at it from the ground. If you can back up far enough to see it, just pay attention to everything. If something looks out of order, or if anything is like flapping in the wind or hanging off of the roof, if you see anything that is really stained, any kind of moss or growth on the roof, anytime you see a shingle out in your yard or a piece of metal in your yard, you definitely have roof damage. Sometimes you can have roof damage, you can get a leak, and you're like, oh man, I really have to call somebody, I have to get this dealt with. And then there's anxiety about it, you don't want to do it for whatever reason, and then the roof leak goes away. It has not fixed itself. You still have a problem, and the problem's getting worse, but it's not leaking right now for whatever reason. Say like one storm you had where you saw the leak, there's a lot of rain coming in sideways, there's a lot of winds coming in from a certain direction, and then that same rainstorm, you don't see one like that for another 6 months or so. But it doesn't mean that your roof is all right because you don't see a leak the next time. So you can notice any bubbling in your paint, sometimes cracks in your side of your walls. Anytime you see water coming through your ceiling, anything falling off your ceiling tiles, off a drop ceiling, anytime you see a stain, if you can make it up into your attic and walk around your attic and take a flashlight or turn the light on and look at the bottom of the roof decking, and if you see any stains from water or you see anything that looks like discolored or like it's not what you think it should be looking like, then have a professional come out and take a look at it. If you have enough confidence to climb the ladder and take a look at the roof, I'm not going to say that you shouldn't get on your roof. Everybody, has to make their own decisions, but it's not necessary. If you have any concerns about it, have somebody come out, have a professional come out, take a look at it. It's good to be proactive and, try to figure out what's going on yourself, but it's so much easier just to have somebody come out, take a look at it. I do free estimates and inspections, and if you're ever concerned or if you just want to see the state of your roof, then I'll go up there, take a couple pictures for you, show you what it looks like, compare it to pictures of what that area of the roof should look like if it was installed properly, and then if any storm comes through and you hear any sounds up there that you don't normally hear, you hear dripping sound coming from the chimney or anything like that, that's another good indication that maybe something's out of place there, and give me a call and we can figure out what's going on.
Thanks for all the tips and tricks, Cole. Also, if any of this applies to you guys, feel free to jump over to the contact page and fill out the form there. What's the average wait time for a job?
So the average wait time to have me come out and take a look at the job, take a look at for an inspection, for any type of insurance thing, is usually about 2 weeks or so. If it's an emergency, if you're having an active leak, I can do what I have to do to get out of there quicker. I have a couple other people that I trust to do this that I can send to take a look at it. Then once we take a look at it and we come up with a game plan and say that the proposal that I give to you of how to either, repair or replace the roof or whatever it may be, that you agree with it, you'll get an estimate, sign the estimate, give me the deposit. It's usually about a 2-week wait. Sometimes of the year it's longer wait than others. And a lot of people towards the end of the year, the end of the summer, they want to get that work in before the year ends or before the cold hits. There's certain types of construction that, just can't properly be performed unless the weather is clear, unless the temperature is above 45 degrees. Those days are few and far between in the middle of the winter, so there's a rush and to get all this stuff done towards the end of the year, and you may have to wait 3 to 4 weeks. But I try to get people in as quick as possible.
Thank you, Cole. That's all the questions we have for today. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, just, if you haven't had anybody inspect your roof lately, then there's definitely something you should do. You should either check it out yourself or have somebody on it, taking a look at it, giving you the pictures, having a professional do it, and show you what your roof looks like once a year or so. Some cases you'll want to have that done once a season. Depends if you have a really aged roof and you don't know how long it's going to last. It's good to keep a close eye on it. And just whoever you go with, whenever you have a contractor come take a look at it, if you don't have a good feeling about it working with them, if you don't like that feeling you have in your gut, then don't do it. There's so many other people out there that will get the job done. You want to make sure that you're going to hire somebody who knows what they're doing and who is going to follow the manufacturer's specifications for the type of materials that you're using. Somebody who's going to take the time to explain it to you and show you pictures, every step of the way. Somebody who has warranties available, who's going to check back up on you and situation, and you can get a hold of them in a year or two, and it's not somebody who shows up from Kentucky for a summer and then you have no idea how to even get in touch with them 3 years later when your ceiling's falling down. So just, be wise, and don't always go for the cheapest one, because some people out there are not, they're doing whatever they can to make it as cheap as possible, and it may not be a good move for you if you own something. take the time to do your homework.
Sounds like good advice to me, Cole. Again, this is Jackson Welsh with Cole Goddard on the Aniohevyeshua podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Jackson. Have a good day, man.
You too.